Considering you can build your own fast portable SSD enclosure for less than buying an actual ready-to-run portable drive, if you're after a high-speed and super durable external NVMe-based drive but are on a budget, then this could be for you, the ORICO Alloy SSD Enclosure. We've taken a look at several ORICO-based NVMe solutions in the past and they've been rather impressive, although what makes this different is how robust this thing is, with its all-new design. Although the box has clearly seen better days, the enclosure itself is built solid. Seriously, this has to be one of the most solid enclosures I've come across. I feel like I could throw this thing across a concrete floor and still be confident it works perfectly fine. Saying that, it's also one of the more heavier enclosures too. Something to bear in mind should you be moving around a lot, although you do receive an equally robust and rather thick braided lanyard for hooking it onto yourself or your gear. The enclosure itself is made of a newly upgraded high-density corrosion-resistant aluminum alloy that ORICO state has been drop and pressure tested thousands of times for greater durability, providing the ultimate protection for the SSD contained within. And honestly, it clearly shows. That metal finish, along with the striped design, also help to maximize the heat dissipation area, helping to keep the SSD inside running cooler for longer, avoiding thermal throttling, and prolonging the service life of the SSD, while making data transmission more stable throughout use. On one end, we have a single USB Type-C port compatible with the 3.2 Gen 2 protocol when used with an NVMe SSD, so supporting a theoretical data transmission speed of up to 10 gigabits per second, although the enclosure is also compatible with M2 SATA SSDs at up to 6 gigabits per second speeds. Of course, a suitable cable is included within the package, and it's a pretty decent one at that, complete with a Type-C to Type-A adapter pre-attached on one end too. Also included in the package is a Torx driver, considering this is not a tool-free enclosure. Part of that super robust design, I guess, and this is used to remove the 4 screws around one side of the enclosure, after which the side can be removed to reveal, well, an empty enclosure. The actual chipset and circuitry are hidden away under another plastic faceplate, so all that's available here is the SSD connector itself, supporting a range of connections across the SATA and NVMe range, as well as varying sizes thanks to some plastic plugs that can be inserted into one of the 4 available slots once the drive is inserted. We're using an NVMe drive in this example, and it can be locked down into place with a quick and simple twist. To help with that heat dissipation, a thermal pad is included, which sits on top of the SSD, followed by a heatsink plate, before replacing the top cover, and securing into place with the 4 Torx screws. Installation complete. The control chip does a great job with data transfers too, and with the Blackmagic disk speed test software giving us some respectable numbers. Naturally, we would expect a lot more from the bare drive inside, but this is pushing to the upper limits of what the external 10 gigabits per second USB 3.2 Gen 2 interface can provide. And it's easily enough to edit 4K content or for super fast data transfers. I've certainly no disappointment here at all. Equally as impressive are file transfers, which are also quick, again nothing to be concerned about here. What's more important is sustaining that speed over longer periods of use, when the SSD inside really heats up, and I'm pleased to see I've had no issues here either. After prolonged use, I noticed no throttling or any other issue, so that all-metal design is certainly helping to regulate operating temperature. So while the drive will feel noticeably warm during heavy usage, which is completely normal and part of the parcel when it comes to NVMe drives, on the plus side it confirms the heatsink is doing its job pretty well. With that added protection comes the cost of convenience though. In order to access the drive, you must unscrew the 4 screws in order to remove the cover, but ultimately this is not really a big deal, since I see this as added security in the first instance, protecting the drive as much as it possibly could be. With a stylish, functional yet super tough design, if you have access to your own SSD and want to use it as an external device for your computer, as well as ensure the best possible physical protection, the ORICO Alloy SSD enclosure performed well throughout testing and comes very well recommended.